Alone is a story of 5 children who wake up in a mysteriously deserted city. They must learn to survive alone, originally published in French in 2006 and translated by Cinebook for an English audience in 2014. Hello YouTube, it's the Frog Queen here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Alone the Vanishing, and this is another Cinebook. As I've explained in my previous video, Cinebook has sent me a bunch of amazing books to review. Whenever a publisher sends me hard copies, I make sure I always review them. That's just kind of the way it is. I always have an influx of digital copies to review, so many that I'm drowning. Not that that's a bad thing. My whole issue is that I work for a software company, so I stare at screens all day. And when you do that, you kind of hate going home only to stare at additional screens. Kind of like how I'm doing now, but this won't take that long. Anyway. The first thing I want to say that's pretty obvious right from the cover is that this is not a book that I would typically read. Yes, I am completely accusable of being the type of person who judges a book by its cover. Okay, when it comes to people, I'm not like that, I swear to God, but with comics and books, I'm very much like that. Which is one of my big problems with Marvel and DC, is that the cover artist is never the same as the interior artist. And I found this out at an early age, and it drove me insane. Anyway. So I guess the question is you're asking is why isn't this book necessarily for me? Why would I say that this wasn't for me from the get-go? And, well, for me, it's the artwork. It really doesn't have the sophisticated quality to it that I'm used to seeing. The artwork looks as though it would appeal to children, even though, of course, there's this blood on the bottom here, which is very deceiving as well. And maybe it's also because if you turn the book over, it says down here that its target audience was between 9 and 12, and the book actually won a youth prize at the Angoulême, I think it is. No, the book actually won a prize for the 9 to 12 youth prize at the Angoulême Festival? Let's just call it that, in 2007 from 2010. Anyway, wow, that was really difficult to say. So I was genuinely surprised that I enjoyed this book. I didn't think that was possible. Firstly, I only actually like one of the characters, which was surprisingly the main character. The one boy on the cover, his name's Dodsey. He's a child without parents. He's actually grown up in a group home, and he's used to relying on himself and himself only. I didn't really grow into liking the other characters so much, but I totally identified with Dodsey, even though I didn't grow up in a group home, but I identified with the way he thinks. Dodsey is also very heroic. And despite being bullied by other children in his group home, he still stands up and wants to help the children that he finds in this group after everyone else disappears. This is apparent when the youngest child, Terry, runs off on his own to look for his parents, and Dodsey's the only one who wants to go looking for the child to ensure his safety. Everybody else is like, you know what, he ran off, he's on his own. So this story does remind me a little of a less adult version of No Mercy, which was recently, which actually currently runs on Image Comics by Alex DeCampi and Carla Speed McNeil. Anyone who knows me knows how much of a fan I am of those two ladies. Although the story is quite different. The children in No Mercy are stranded, but they have to deal with a foreign environment. There's still this very Lord of the Flies kind of situation going on. Some children choose to work together and some not, etc., etc. The atmosphere of Alone is odd though, because it does have this dark side. Of course, you can see with all this blood. Although it's accompanied with this very childish type illustration. So it really like threw me for a loop. I didn't really know what this was supposed to be. And it wasn't until after I turned it over and saw the age that I was like, oh, okay, this is intended for a child audience, which kind of confused me a little bit. So all in all, I didn't think I would like this book, but I ended up really enjoying it. I recommend checking it out. There's also a volume 2. So I guess that's the end of my review for this time. How about you just, go read something good.